And we are live. Yes, welcome. New live stream. It has been a while that we did a live stream, but we will pick up the thread again. There's so many things to show you, new releases, new functionality, etc. So more live streams to come. Today, a really interesting topic. Artificial intelligence and the integration with our Quotation Factory platform. Every time I use the word ChatGPT, I have to think because I often call it ChatGTP, but of course it's GPT. So sorry if I make that mistake. It's somewhere locked into my brain. So, okay. We have an agenda, 3 topics. First, what is ChatGPT? Second topic, how it is currently integrated with the Quotation Factory platform. And the third topic is the more or less product roadmap, what we have planned to do with AI under the hood, and where do we think we can get with this. So let me just explain a little bit about ChatGPT before we dive into the demo. What has happened is that over the years, AI has been developed using large language models. So AI trained using natural language as input, a lot of content from the internet, from websites, from scientific papers, from books, etc. All that has been used to train AI. And one of the companies that is well known now for this is OpenAI. That's the company, and they launched a product called ChatGPT. And it really took off. And there are many reasons, of course, for that, but one of the main reasons is it's the first AI model that you can use, interact with using natural language, and in a really easy way, and it gives you it's like you are having a conversation with another human being, more or less like that. So that makes it really popular and really useful. You can use it in various ways. You can use it for research, just having someone to brainstorm with. You can give it tasks such as please write an introduction for a blog post around this topic and blah, blah, blah. You can let it write an email with sufficient commercial focus, for example. It can even understand computer code, computer language that you copy and paste. And you can ask it whether it's capable of finding a bug in there or to write an automated unit test, etc., etc. It's really amazing what is possible. But of course, it's based on the large language model, so it gives you answers about many, many, many things. If you want to incorporate this in the context of a specific business, like, for example, the Quotation Factory and all the knowledge related to quoting for metal workers and how to do that and use with our platform and how to use the platform in the best possible way, then of course the generic ChatGPT is useless, because it would even give answers how to do it in other products than, for example, Quotation Factory. So that's where ChatGPT created the ability to write plugins. For example, because the model is natural language based, it's not really good in making calculations or doing mathematical stuff. And then you have a plugin that integrates with AI for doing mathematical stuff, and it will start using that plugin when it is relevant. Even if you, for example, would like to interact with an hotel and ask whether you can have you can bring your cats with you, etc. You can have a plugin that is integrated with, for example, booking.com that uses that data, etc., etc. So through plugins, specific data can be used while you chat using GPT, and it will give you answers based on that data. So that with plugins makes it possible to do questions within the context of, for example, the Quotation Factory platform. And that's what I'm going to demo you now first. So what are we doing? We are creating a knowledge base. We will spend many months completing the knowledge base and fine-tuning the way we describe things, such that as a user of the platform, you can ask your questions to the AI and you will get the right answers for that. So let me show you how that works. So recently we have incorporated this question mark here. You can press that and now you have two options. You can directly start asking questions, but I will first show you the help center. If you click this, then the knowledge base opens up. You see that we currently have the articles categorized in, for example, the roadmap and releases. So this is a category. You can press the release notes and then you see the details about every release that we have done in the past. So release notes now you can find in the knowledge base, as well as, for example, information about the product roadmap for 2023. So in the categories, we have articles about vision, basic business knowledge. So for example, all kinds of topics that are relevant if you are a user of Quotation Factory, that you know more or less what is meant with these aspects or terminology. So this is generic business knowledge. And there are many how-to articles. And just to give you a little bit deeper understanding, if you press this article and you go into the details, this is only text about 2D interpretation. So using DXF, DWG files, and what the platform does with that. So you see, there's a lot of text, and as a user, you don't want to study all those texts. And in the context of a specific question, it's not even necessary to go through all these details. But of course, you are free to do that. So that is where the AI kicks in. So now I'm going to close the help center. Let's see what happens if we start asking questions to the AI. For example, is there support for 2D models? But what's interesting here is you don't have to say I'm a metal worker, that's the context. You don't have to say that the context is Quotation Factory. That is all just a given. So you have to be less specific with the questions, less specific than, for example, if you use the generic ChatGPT model. So what happens now, it feeds ChatGPT with the content. ChatGPT analyzes that and helps to construct the best possible answer given this question. It takes a while. Right now, it depends on how what the load is on ChatGPT, how fast you will get the answer. But in general, in a couple of seconds, you will have a really nice answer being formulated. Currently, a question like this, you would not be able to get an answer to that except sending us an email to the service desk with this question and about details. And then you have to wait for a customer success person to answer your question. So the idea is that we give you the best possible experience in getting your questions answered as soon as possible. Yeah, the load is really high, I think, right now. So let me try this once again. Is there support to the... Let's see. That's always the case with demos, of course. Also note that you have a refresh button here. So the fact that we start the conversation now about 2D models and the AI will remember this, that this is the context. The more you interact with it within one chat, how do you say that, instance, the more you direct the conversation into a specific context, and it will try to give you answers around that. If you refresh this, then the whole context will be forgotten and it will start from a clean slate, so to say. Well, we are not lucky right now, I see. That's really a pity. Let me try to give which CAM systems are integrated. Let's see. And there you are. Yeah, so this is, of course, we wrote a text. You see here, learn more. This is an article. This is an article. From those articles, it said, okay, this is probably the best possible answer for this question. So you can help the AI to train itself. If you say, okay, this was a really helpful answer, then you press this, then next time it will be biased given this answer. Yeah, so this way, all of us using this can further improve the experience with this AI technology. Is a manufacturability check supported using a CAM system? Let's see. So it really understands the text, the semantics there, and based on all the topics written there, it will formulate the best possible answer. Yes, a manufacturability check is supported using a CAM system. Based on the recognized features, shape, and working steps, the geometry can be sent to the appropriate CAM system to perform a manufacturability check. The outcome of the manufacturability check, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so this is really nice, and we are monitoring the questions asked by users. That's all, how do you say that? Anonymized, I think that's the right English term. So we don't see who asks what question, but we see these are more or less the questions. These are questions that users probably have problems with. And then we can try to improve the text. Sometimes we describe things in an ambiguous way, such that the AI has problems really understanding what we mean. And so by improving that, the answers will become more and more and more to the point and what you really are looking for. And of course, it depends on the quality of and the completeness of the knowledge base. So that's what we are working on right now. If you want to start a whole new session, you just do this and then you start all over again. You can, for example, say, what is ABC? Probably activity-based costing. And you can have a chat about activity-based costing and why it's relevant for your metal company, and if there are other costing methodologies, etc. So those activity-based costing is a costing methodology used by business to allocate cost to products, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, and then you see that we have an article about this. So, okay. So that's the first step. Let me stop sharing and go to the third topic, which is all about the product roadmap and how we are going to apply AI in which steps and what you can expect from us. So there we are, step one. That's what I showed you, the integration of the knowledge base with the ChatGPT. And that's based on static data. So we have a knowledge base that is written, and we use the natural language processing on top of that. The result for you as a user will be that you get immediate and perfect answers to your questions. And you don't have to wait for our customer success team to give you the perfect answer. Then step 2, integration of quotation content with ChatGPT. That means that we go from static data to dynamic data. You are in the context of a quotation, and that data, using a Quotation Factory plugin with ChatGPT, that quotation data is available for the user. And then the user gets insight tips, directions to improve the quotation itself. So, for example, is there an alternative material that is cheaper? And you would get the answer what the alternatives would be given the materials used in the quotation. For example, where in the quotation I have sufficiently profit margin to make the quotation commercially more appealing. Those questions should be possible to ask, and you should get relevant answers to that and directions. And then, of course, the step towards applying it without you having to do that manually, but let the AI execute that for you, that step would also be a possibility in the future. So that's within the context of the dynamic data of a quotation. Then the third step is integration of historic data with AI. So that makes it possible for the user to get insight in customer behavior over time. We know, for example, we should be able then to ask, how important is this customer for me? Or, for example, what would be the appropriate customer segment for this customer, given his historic data? So if you do customer segmentations and customers that recurringly you do business with, maybe you put them in another discount rate than first-time customers. So the AI should be able to help you with that. And of course, the ability to analyze historic data, and the AI should discover things in that data. For example, it could be able to discover that a certain customer over time is buying less and less and less with you. It should be able to discover that and help you identify it such that you can take measures in this case. Then the fourth step is anonymous benchmarking. So imagine that you want to know if the cost price that you have for the capabilities of your factory, that those cost prices are higher than your competitors or lower. So where do I rank in an anonymous set of data with my cost prices, with my hourly rates, for example? Do my competitors have additional capabilities that I don't have and I should add to my factory? How about the speed with which I deliver to my customers? What's about the quality and expectations, things like that. So anonymous benchmarking information to rank yourself within, for example, the supply chain that you are part of. And then the fifth step could be that we start using AI to predict things. So in the other steps, we use historic data, and now we are going to use historic data to predict things in the future. For example, given the 3 years of the past, in which month do I expect to sell the most? Or which in what customer segment do I expect my customer base to decrease, and where do I expect it to increase? What about delivery? The delivery time that my suppliers need. So all that data we can use to do predictive analysis. So that's where we are going to move towards. Why is ChatGPT relevant? That is because it completely changes the way we interact with the software, with the platform. So it's based on natural language. You can ask more and more and more and go through the details, and the AI will keep formulating and searching for answers within the context that you are talking about. That will be possible with data from your company, from your current quotation, and even with the data available within the supply chain that you are part of. And then later, AI will be incorporated to predict and to discover new things that normally you as a human being would maybe have a hard time discovering yourself. So that's what we are working on, where we are moving towards. If you have anything that you want to share with me, or you are interested in, or have ideas about, don't hesitate to get in contact with me, and we will meet in, for example, Teams session on the internet. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you during the next live stream. Have a nice day. Ciao, ciao.